Whether you're out there watching and hoping for another Minneapolis miracle, or you're an Eagles fan that just thinks you're about to take over the world, we're breaking down the NFC Wildcard round right now. What is going on, Headliner Nation? Jake Fantasy Headliners. Hopefully everybody's doing well out there. Today we're talking about the NFC Wildcard round. 2 matchups coming up this weekend that we're going to break down a little bit and give a prediction coming up here for this weekend. Got both matchups coming up, so make sure you stay tuned for both of those. If you're new to this channel, we don't just do fantasy football. We'll talk all things NFL all year long, so if that's what you're looking for, hit that subscribe button. We got you taken care of. But now, without taking up any more time, let's dive into the matchups coming up in the NFC Wildcard round here this weekend. All right, first game up, Minnesota Vikings at the New Orleans Saints. Going to be played Sunday the 5th at 1:05 p.m. Eastern Time. The Minneapolis Miracle rematch from 2 years ago, that long touchdown reception by Stefon Diggs that's being played on every network station known to man here as of late. But this year could be a little bit different. On one side, you have the number 6 ranked rushing offense of the Minnesota Vikings, which is about as close to 100% healthy as they have been here in recent weeks. But they're going to be going up against the number 4 ranked rushing defense of the New Orleans Saints. Now on the opposite side of the ball, you have Drew Brees and Michael Thomas, who are dang near impossible to shut down no matter who you have on your defensive side of the football. And now, over the past couple weeks, Alvin Kamara is starting to get going in this running game. Vegas, they're going to be rewarding the Saints here early. They're making them 7.5-point favorites, and they've set the over-under at 49.5 points, the highest projected point total of the weekend. But honestly, I see New Orleans scoring the bulk of those points. The Vikings' middle-of-the-pack defense should struggle against this offense of the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees at home is just absolutely lethal. In 2019, he started 6 home games and 5 road games, only 1 more game at home than on the road. However, he had 1,015 yards and 7 touchdowns more at home. The guy absolutely kills it there in New Orleans. Now, can the Minnesota offense really hang with that? I mean, Minnesota threw the ball the 3rd fewest times of all teams in the NFL in 2019. You have Adam Thielen. He's kind of looked like a shadow of his old self. And Stefon Diggs just really big play dependent at this point. I mean, there's just no way they're going to be able to run the ball all game if they're constantly trailing to the Saints, if the Saints can continue to put points up on the board. There's just no way that I think that they can control the offense and control the game on the ground, which is really where they find some success in Minnesota. Now, a few possible DFS plays. Taysom Hill is one of them, $4,500, and he's definitely somebody who's like a Swiss Army knife in this offense. If you're doing like a showdown slate as a captain, this is definitely somebody who can set you apart because he's just so involved in so many different ways of the offense. Got him as a possible value play. Traquan Smith, another guy. If they really try to limit Michael Thomas, Traquan Smith is somebody who's proven at times in this offense to go out and put up some big numbers. He's at $4,000. He's a good value. And lastly, Kyle Rudolph. If the Saints struggle anywhere, it's maybe defending the tight end. Kyle Rudolph at $3,500 could give you a little bit of flexibility as far as cash goes to put some more studs in your lineup if that's what you're looking for this weekend. Now, as for my prediction going to the end of this game now, I really don't expect Minnesota to be in this game very much. I expect New Orleans to come out hot and heavy early, and I'm going with the Saints this week, picking them 37-13 over the Minnesota Vikings. Let's move on to the second game now. Seattle Seahawks, Philadelphia Eagles being played on Sunday the 5th at 4:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, the run to the postseason happened once again for the Philadelphia Eagles. Are they really a contender, or are they just benefiting from a weak division and a weak end-of-season schedule? I mean, over their last 5 weeks, their combined record of their opponents was 24-56. They played the Dolphins, the Giants twice, the Redskins, and the Cowboys. Now, decent weather is forecasted for this game in Philadelphia. Right now, looking like 41 degrees and pretty clear outside. Vegas, they currently have Seattle as a 1.5-point favorite despite being the road team here. The over-under set at 45 points. The biggest issue that I see here for Philadelphia is injuries. I mean, we know that Nelson Agholor, doubtful to play. Zach Ertz is listed as questionable, but I would be very, very surprised if Zach Ertz plays. He's not even cleared for contact as of yet. Lane Johnson, starting tackle, he's questionable to play. Miles Sanders, he's dealing with an ankle sprain. Sounds like he's going to play, but how much does that limit him? I mean, a solid Philadelphia run D should limit the Seattle running game somewhat, but does that just open up the passing game for Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf? This isn't going to be a walk in the park by any means for the Seattle Seahawks. The Philadelphia crowd is going to bring that early energy. But this is Russell Wilson's 14th career playoff start. Carson Wentz, his first. There's no Nick Foles to make this postseason run this time for the Philadelphia Eagles. Wentz is 0-3 in his career against the Seattle Seahawks, which is including losing to them in Week 12, 17-9, in a game that was played in Philadelphia. Now, in that game, his leading receiver was Zach Ertz with 12 receptions, 91 yards, and a touchdown. If Zach Ertz sits, I just don't like the chances at all for the Philadelphia Eagles. Heck, even if he plays, he's going to be limited. The Seattle passing attack, the short yardage back that they have with Marshawn Lynch now, the injuries for the Philadelphia Eagles, Russell Wilson's playoff experience, this could be just too much for the Philadelphia Eagles to overcome. Now, if you're looking for a few possible value plays in this game, Dallas Goedert has to be on there. He's not much of a value, but he has to be in the bulk of the lineups. He may be somewhat chalky this week because a lot of people are going to like him, but at a limited slate and limited options at $5,200 is not bad. J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Not a huge fan, but who else besides him and Greg Ward are going to catch balls in Philadelphia? There's not a whole lot of other options, and he's only $3,300. He gives you a lot of flexibility. DK Metcalf, he's at $6,100. However, I see him definitely taking advantage of this weak secondary of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's definitely somebody who could go out there and have a big game. Now, as for my prediction, I like Seattle here. I really do. 23-16, the Seahawks. I think it's a decent game early, but second half, Seattle starts to pull away just a little bit. Not something where I think that Philadelphia can just hang. There's just not enough offensive weapons here this week. They are too beat up. They're too injured, and it's really going to limit their chances here in the playoffs. So give me the Seahawks here this week in this matchup. All right, so that's my take on the NFC Wildcard games coming up this weekend in the NFL playoffs. Now, I always mention this in all the videos. We like to be very interactive with the community out there. We want to talk to you. We want to get your opinion. So leave it down below in the comment section. Maybe you see these games going a different direction. By all means, put it down below and give me the reason as to why. If you're just a pissed off Philly fan because I didn't pick your team to win, leave a comment if you want, but I'm probably going to ignore it. I'm not hating on your team. I just don't like the chances. So put all that down below in the comment section. Looking forward to communicating with you guys and going back and forth and really talking, more NFL football. Just because the fantasy football season is over doesn't mean that we don't want to talk football year round. That's what it's all about. We greatly appreciate the support out there, and we will look forward to talking to you guys again next week.